I got replaced as CEO last year in a company that I had co founded and run for 10 years, and this is part two of mistakes we made as founders. Second, and arguably the biggest mistake we ever made, was about who we took money from as our first institutional investor. We were sufficiently experienced to know how critical culture was to the team, and we were very careful in how we built our team. But we didn't apply the same caution and intuition to how we chose our investors. We had no idea the level of impact your first institutional investor will have throughout your fundraising journey as long as you exist. Especially since we were building in consumer social, which was a very capital intensive area to build in, we could not attract better VCs with more monies to come invest with us, even when we had amazing metrics. There were two parts to this equation. Part one was consumer social. In general, VCs are afraid of consumer social. They don't touch it unless they have very deep pockets and unless you are late stage in the sense that you've already grown massively. The exceptions are things like Clubhouse, where the VC knew the founders personally and the founders were repeat founders and had a big reputation. And yet, Clubhouse was a massive disaster. More about that in a different video. Part two was about who we had on our cap table. When we were raising our Series A, we had no idea just how big of an impact this would be for future rounds of capital. As we grew and had impressive metrics, we've spoken to so many VCs. I've pitched to hundreds of investors. Most of the top investors knew of us, and our metrics was sufficient to get us meetings with most of them. A few friendly VCs eventually told me what's going on through their minds, and I'm eternally grateful for having learned about this. There was this one woman from Greycroft who pulled me aside one day and told me, "Look, I love what you're building, but your cap table is what we call high risk. And I see so many deals per day. There is no reason why I should choose a high risk cap table to invest in over a cleaner cap table to invest in. This is one of the reasons you're never going to find anybody who's willing to take this on." I took this message to our board many times, and it was a really difficult pill to swallow for them. No one wants to take accountability for things like this. This lesson is hard learned, it's deeply personal. We will not take money from people whose values are not aligned with ours going forward. Now, there are a lot of comments on my videos that talk about this is why you should never raise from VCs. It's better to bootstrap. I'll make a separate video talking about how I feel about that. But suffice to say that we'll definitely be very careful of who we take money from going forward.